So I just recently watched the new Wonka movie and it was actually really great. I had high hopes for it, but I had also heard people saying it wasn't very good, but honestly, those people were wrong. I loved it. There will be some light spoilers, so be warned. No full plot summary, but I'll mention some important moments in the movie. So it was just such a fun and joyous movie. The music was great, the casting was really great, the effects were great. Pretty much all elements of this movie were great. The plot was very interesting and it was also quite sweet as well, pun intended. I love the characters, both the villains and the heroes were great in their own ways. And I love seeing the rival chocolate companies that were in the original. Those three people were both funny, evil, and charming at the same time. Timothy Chalamet was also an excellent choice for Willy Wonka. While I don't think anyone can really beat Gene Wilder from the original, he did a very good job and really makes him whimsical and magical as he should be. It's just a really cool, sweet, and fun origin story for the great and magical man, Willy Wonka. So, the characters in this movie were all just really great. Without a doubt, my favorite and everyone else's favorite is Wonka himself, played excellently by Timothy Chalamet. Like I said before, he has very whimsical, magical, and childlike vibe, which is perfect and really represents who Wonka is. Also, his inventions are amazing, of course, some probably inspired by the original movie and some new ones. He's basically a magician after all. And he's younger, of course, and this is a prequel movie after all. He also has a really good singing voice, and he's just really wondrous and kind, and even after bad things happen, he stays happy and optimistic. He has a lot of great lines as well. He can be very funny at times. A lot of people have and will compare him to Gene Wilder, which I did as well, to be fair, but really he does stand on his own. It's not really a fair competition since it's a prequel, and it follows a younger Willy Wonka, and either way, he absolutely did a great acting job. Some other characters. Bleacher and Mrs. Scrubbit were really weird, but also interesting characters. They're pretty crappy people for, like, the whole small print thing, which, charges the people so much money, makes them in debt to them for a long time. And they also have a really funny, weird chemistry together, but, they fit well together, and they're pretty funny. Noodle was a great character. She helped out Wonka a lot. She's an orphan, and she was also trapped there with Scrubbit, but she helped Wonka escape in the first place, and they had a lot of friendly chemistry together. Really good duo of characters. Slugworth, Prodnose, and Fickelgruber were a really great villain trio, evil in a very comical and hilarious way. And I just love how they used tons of chocolate to convince the chief of police to deal with Willy Wonka, and he even became really fat over time because it was eating so much chocolate. Very funny. Keegan-Michael Key is just hilarious and played that role very well. The whole chocolate cartel plot is kind of goofy and ridiculous, but it's hilarious, and it's so intricate as well, with the church and the secret way to get down below and all the singers and the priest and who's a chocolate addict and wow, that's just crazy. It's kind of insane. They literally tried to kill Willy Wonka with the explosion on the boat, but good thing he could swim, unlike Augustus Gloop, obviously. And they almost drowned Noodle and Willy Wonka. That was pretty evil for sure. Although, too bad for them, they got humiliated and caught and arrested. At least I think they did. I'm not sure how they would later come back to steal secrets from Wonka in the original, but whatever. I guess they could have gotten out of jail. And like I said with the Chocolate Priest earlier, Rowan Atkinson did a very good job. He's very funny, especially running away from the giraffe with all the choir singing, "Giraffe, giraffe." That was so funny. I always love seeing Rowan Atkinson. He's always very funny, often without speaking much, and he did play Mr. Bean after all, and Mr. Bean is absolutely hilarious. The cinematography and art was also really well done. It was very well choreographed. I mean, it is a musical after all. And especially later when we see Willy Wonka's candy shop and factories, that was just beautiful. Just so colorful and pretty, really. I think part of it is just seeing it in theaters is just better. I've just noticed recently seeing movies in theaters is just a whole nother level. I know that's kind of obvious, but it really just is something seeing it on such a big screen. It just makes movies so much more immersive. The music, it was very, very good, really catchy, joyous, and whimsical. Both the score and the musical songs were really good. I really liked Timothy Chalamet's voice, and the soundtrack is just very catchy and memorable. There's some really goofy and there's some funny songs, and even some sweet and emotional songs as well. The Sweet Tooth song is so funny, how they try so hard to convince the chief of police, and he keeps saying, "Nope, I will not take it. Oh, I have the police ball, for my wife." But then he's suddenly convinced without a thought when they offer him 1,800 boxes. He's like, "Okay, I guess I will." That's a lot of chocolate. Maybe too much chocolate. And it was also awesome to have songs referencing the original movie, like the Oompa Loompa song and Pure Imagination. It was definitely a good thing that this is a prequel specifically to the 1971 movie. The 2005 one was good, but just very weird and feels just a lot more disconnected, and the whimsical feel of Willy Wonka's origins feel much more connected to the original movie, so that was obviously the right choice. It's more iconic, it's just better overall, And like the 2005 one isn't bad, but it's just weird. Like I watched it recently. It's so weird. I also like how this movie wasn't just about chocolate, but also friendship and family as well. The ending was quite emotional, which made me confident in giving this movie a high score. It was great that Noodle got to learn about her parents. It's said that her dad died and she was finally able to reunite with her mom at the end, who thought she was dead, and that was just really sweet. Also, the story came full circle when Wonka finally felt a connection to his mom, even though she wasn't actually there, although we do see he has like a little vision of her in there. But finally opening that chocolate his mom gave her and sharing it with his friends is what his mom would have wanted him to do. It's just really sweet that he started making chocolate because of his mom and wanted to be successful to bring her back in a way, even though she could never really truly come back. That was his way of feeling connected to his mom again. So one of the major themes in this movie I found was determination and just never giving up on your dreams. Obviously, this is all fictional, and Willy Wonka is like possibly magic or something, I don't really know, but the idea is follow your dreams. Even if they seem super out of reach, you should never really give up on them. And Willy Wonka was able to go from homeless pretty much to a rich, successful chocolate maker with a giant factory. Noodle thought she would never see her parents again, but then through the help of her friends was able to reunite with her mom, which was just awesome. Yeah, I definitely recommend this movie to most people. I guess if you don't like musicals, you might not like it since, yes, it is a musical. I'm not sure why that wasn't marketed, but the original is also a musical. I feel like some people forget this, but the original is literally a musical, and that is super well loved, and it's great. And this one is also great. So, yeah, you should definitely watch this. Controversial maybe, but I think this actually is slightly better than the original. I know it's not really fair to compare them since they're not telling the same story. It's not like comparing the 2005 version and 1971 versions, but I just had a bit more fun overall watching this new one. It's like I saw in a YouTube comment, it's just like a warm hug. It's just such like a feel-good, cozy movie. Is a good way to put it. And no one can really compare to Gene Wilder's original performance as Willy Wonka in the original, but that's also an older Wonka, and I'd say Timothy did a great job with the younger Wonka, and they're both really great movies. And besides, it doesn't really matter which one is better than the other. They kind of work together, even though obviously they're so much far apart. But like, it's a prequel after all, so they just fit together really well, and they have similar elements, and it's just so cool how they work together like that. Anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I gave it a score of 9 out of 10. I just really enjoyed this. Honestly, all the new movies I've seen in theaters this year have just been great. 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, crazy. It just a lot of great movies. I should watch more. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Did you enjoy this? What did you think of Wonka? Anyways, thanks for watching and bye. See you in the next video.